We are now going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions with different denominators. Finding the least common denominator, or LCD. First, factor each denominator. List the factors of the first denominator. Add to the list any factors of the second denominator that do not appear in the list. The product of these factors is the least common denominator. So if I factor my denominators, now with my numbers I write what's called prime factors. So my first denominator, I have 2 times 3 times x, and then I'm supposed to add to this list any factors of the second denominator that do not appear. Now the x does, 3 does, so I need to put another 3 on. So if I multiply that up, it looks like I'm going to have 18x squared, and that would be my LCD. One of the questions, or a couple of questions on the test, is just that. Find the LCD. Now my x plus 1 does not factor. The x minus 1 does not factor. So I have to use a combination of those. So that would be my LCD on that one. Do not multiply these, leave them in factored form. This one, I see a 5x I can factor out. This one looks like an x plus 3, x plus 3. So my LCD, I've got a 5x and x plus 3. And I've got one of those, but I have to have 2. So that would be my LCD for that one. Adding and subtracting rational expressions that have different denominators. Your first job is what we just did. Go find the LCD. For each term, multiply the numerator and denominator by the missing factor from that denominator to form the LCD. Add or subtract numerators, writing the answer over the LCD. Simplify if possible. Now this goes back to when you first start playing with fractions. I've got 2/3 plus 4/5. This is sort of similar to B up there. The 3 and the 5 do not factor, they're prime. So my LCD here would be a combination of those two. And since these are numbers, you do go ahead and you multiply those. But now, if you look, if I've got a 3, in order for me to get the LCD, I would need 15. This is 1. And when you multiply a fraction by 1, then you're really not changing the fraction. In this one, I would have to multiply top and bottom by 3. Again, that is 1. So the missing factor for me to get 15 is, if you compare your denominators, I've got that, that's what I need. In this one, I've got the 5, so the missing one would be 3. So once you multiply, notice you're back to what we did earlier. I've got a common denominator, so I do my work just to my numerator. So we'll look at these two. We happen to have already done our LCD. Now, on these, I like to work down. So let me write down 18x squared plus 18x squared. I'm looking at these fractions one at a time, and now you compare. I've got 6x squared. What I've got missing is a 3, so I need to multiply the top by 3. In this one, I am missing a 2x, so I multiply the top by 2x. So I'm going to have my common denominator. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 2 times 2 is 4x, and there's nothing I can factor out of the numerator, so that would be my final answer. My LCD, this was B up above. So let me write down my LCD. For however many fractions I've got, and now compare. I've got the x plus 1, this is what I lack. This is what I multiply the numerator by. I've got x minus 1. I lack that one. So you're going to have the common denominator and just leave it. Do not multiply it out. But do simplify the numerator. I've got 3x minus 3 plus a 5x plus 5. As long as you have a plus, you'll be okay. But now if there's a minus, you have to put this product in parentheses. So now let's simplify. I've got 8x. Negative 3 plus 5 is a plus 2. Now, even though I could factor a 2 out of this, I would not be able to cancel, so that would be my final answer. There are more problems that I'll be doing on the next video. Thank you.